In this video I want to give another example of integration by parts, but this time using a definite integral. So I'm going to assign f of x equal to x minus 4, f prime of x equal to 1. I'm going to set g of x equal to the integral of sine of x, which is negative cosine of x, and g prime of x is going to equal sine of x. Okay. Now I'm going to plug in my parts to my integration by parts formula. Plug in all my information. So f of x times g of x will give me x minus 4. G of x is negative cosine of x minus the integral of cosine of x minus the integral of cosine of x times 1 f prime of x times g of x. So 1 times negative cosine of x will give me a positive cosine of x dx. Okay, and now we want to evaluate all this from 0 to pi over 2, and same with this, 0 to pi over 2. I'm not going to change our limits of integration here because we're integrating down again. So we are going to get, simply enough, we're going to get the negative f of x times g of x. So we got our x minus 4 times our cosine of x, evaluated from 0 to pi over 2. Actually, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to get plus the integral of cosine of x, which is sine of x. Okay, so all of this evaluated from 0 to pi over 2. Okay, so that is going to give us, if we plug in for pi over 2, we're going to get the negative pi over 2 minus 4 times a cosine of pi over 2, which is 0. So all this is going to cancel out to 0, plus the sine of pi over 2, which is 1, okay, minus, using our fundamental theorem of calculus, minus all of this right over here, so we're going to get a negative 0 minus 4, which is going to give me a negative 4, okay, times the cosine of 0, which is 1 times 1, plus the sine of 0, which is 0. Okay. Now all this simplifies to, we got a negative 0 plus a 1, which is just a 1, minus, we have negative times negative is a positive, so we're going to have a minus 4 here. So negative times negative is a negative, so we're just going to have a minus 4, which gives us our answer of 3. I'm sorry, negative 3.